Hi everyone, in today's video I will describe you the new features in Windows Server 2025. So in this video I will walk through what's new in the Windows Server 2025 and highlight the most important improvements compared to the previous version, for example 2022 and 2019. I am currently on Windows 2025, and here, in order to see what has changed in this new version, we have to go into Microsoft site. In the Microsoft documentation, so learnmicrosoft.com, we have section what's new in Windows 2025, and here we have the whole site with the new improvements in the new versions or in the new version of Windows Server 2025. So as you can see, it applies to this version and we can read it. So I will show you this site. So this article describes some of the newest developments in Windows Server 2025, which both advanced features that improve security, performance and flexibility. And now, what do we have here? First of all, desktop experience and upgrade, explore upgrade options and the desktop experience. So this is, I think, the introduction. And now, in-place upgrade from Windows Server 2012. With Windows Server 2025, you can upgrade up to 4 versions at a time. You can upgrade directly to a Windows Server 2025 from a Windows Server 2012. So this is, I think, pretty useful. In terms of desktop shell, when you sign it for the first time, the desktop shell experience conforms to the style and appearance of Windows 11. In terms of Bluetooth, you can now connect mice, keyboard, headset, audio devices and more via Bluetooth in Windows Server 2025. So I think this is also very, very useful because, for example, a Bluetooth mouse I think is very comfortable. Now, dtrace. Windows 2025 comes equipped with dtrace as a native tool. Dtrace is a command line utility that enables users to monitor and troubleshoot their system performance in a real time. So this is also a new feature. Of course, I'm not going to read it all because, as you can see, the site is very long. I will just talk about it. But if you are interested, you can stop the video or you can go to the site and you can read it on your own. In terms of email and accounts, you can now add the following type accounts in the Windows Server in Windows settings under account, email and accounts for Windows Server 2025. So you can you have Microsoft Enter ID, Microsoft account and work or school account. So this is also pretty useful. You have feedback hub, you have, for example, file compression, so this is also useful. Windows Server has a new compression feature. To compress an item, right click and select compress to. This feature supports zip, 7-zip and tar compression formats with a specific compression method, so you don't have to install manually, for example, 7-zip or WinRAR. You can just do it with the built-in function. You have pinned apps, so pinning your most used apps is now available through the Start menu and customizable to suit your needs. The default pinned apps are currently Azure and so on. So it will be here in the Start. As you can see, the default pinned apps is Azure ARC setup, the settings, for example, terminal. So this is how it works. The file explorer is here. So these are these pinned apps. You have Task Manager. Windows Server 2025 uses a modern task manager with Mica material that conforms to style of Windows 11. So you can open the task manager like this and you can test it. As you can see, it is very similar to this in the Windows 11. You have the Wi-Fi, so it's now easier to enable wireless connection capabilities because of wireless LAN service feature. You have the Windows Terminal, so the Windows Terminal, a powerful and efficient multi-shell application for the command line user, is available in 2025. Search for Terminal in the search bar, or you can just press it here. You have the Winget. Winget is installed by default. You don't have to install it manually, which is a command line Windows Package Manager tool that provides comprehensive package manager solution for installing applications in Windows devices. You have the advanced Windows layer security. You have the Hotpatch, which is a preview. Hotpatch is now available in this version, so connects to Azure ARC after Hotpatch is enabled with Azure ARC portal. You have the important nodes. You have the Credential guard. You have the Active Directory domain servers with the. So as you can see, the latest enhancement to the Active Directory domain servers and Active Directory lightweight domain servers introduce the range of new functionalities and capabilities aimed at optimizing your domain and management experience. So you have, for example, 32 database page size optional feature. You can read it. I'm not going to read it because this video would be too long. So you have this. You have Active Directory schema updates, you have Active Directory object repair, you have channel binding audit support, you have DC location algorithm improvements, forest and domain functional levels, improved algorithms for name and SID lookups, improved security for confidential attributes, improved security for default machine accounts passwords, and for example Kerberos PKI and IT, support for cryptographic agility, Kerberos changes for algorithms used for tickets granting tickets. You have Kerberos change for supported encryption type configuration, LAN manager GPO settings, LDAP encryption by default, LDAP support for TLS 1.3, legacy account manager. You have legacy account manager, legacy security account manager, and a lot of options. So you have the non-uniform memory access, you have the performance counters, you have replication priority order. So this is in terms of Active Directory. Now you have the delegated managed service account. So this new type of account enables migration from service to from a service account to a delegated managed service account. This account type comes with the managed and fully randomized keys to ensure minimal application changes, while the original service account passwords are disabled. To learn more, you can go on this site. So, you have the Windows Local Administration Password solution. So you have the several features to Microsoft Labs introduce the following improvements. So you can of course read it. Labs means the local administration password solution. So you have the new automatic account management, you have new image rollback deflection, you have the new passphrase, you have improved readability password dictionary. So for the passwords complexity settings, you have some new options. So don't use this letters, don't use this, use special characters. You have post authentication action support for terminating individual process, and this is for the passwords. You have OpenSSH. In earlier version Windows Server, the OpenSSH connectivity tool required the manual installation. The OpenSSH component is installed by default in this version, so this is also very, very comfortable. You have some things with the security baseline, with the virtualization based security and health. As I said, I'm not going to read everything because this is too much. You can read it on your own. You have the virtualization based security key protection, security connectivity with the secure certificate management. You have the SMP over QUIC. You have SMPP with the enabled policy. Here you have the example to disable SMP over QUIC by using PowerShell. You can run this command, as you can see. You have SMP signing and encryption auditing. Like this, here you have also some comments that you can use. You have SMPP over QUIC editing. As you can see, you have some events and paths and events ID here. So you have the SMP alternative ports. You have SMP firewall rule hardening, SMP encryption, authentication rate limiter, and you have the instruction how you can disable it. So SMP, as you can see, is the new function, I would say, in this edition of Windows Server. You have signing, remote mailshot, routing, and remote access servers hardening. Now you have IPsec default keying protocol change. So the default keying models have been changed to IKE v1 and IKE v2, and again you can read it on your own if you are interested. And now Hyper-V AI and performance. So this is, I think, also really useful, especially the AI, which means of course artificial intelligence. So you have some accelerating networking, you have dynamic processor compatibility, you have the Hyper-V Manager. So as you can see, when you create a new virtual machine through Hyper-V Manager generation 2, it's now set as default to the option. As default option in the new virtual machine. You have hypervisor and force spacing transaction. You have GPU partitioning, network ATC, scalability. So a lot of options. So work group clusters, storage, block cloning support, dev drive, NVMe, storage replica compression, storage replica enhanced lock. As you can see, a lot of options. So if you are interested, you have the information about the Windows Server Management enabled by Azure ARC. Software-defined networking. So in software-defined networking, you have network controller, tag-based segmentation, default network policies in the Windows Server 2025, SDN multi-site, enhanced performance of SDN layer 3 case, and some options with the Windows containers portability, Windows Server Insight program, and that's all. So as you can see, a lot of information. You can, if you are interested, I read it I would say very fast to not make this video too long. But if you are interested in the more specific aspects of this site, you can go to this link, or you can stop the video and you can read it on your own. You can also, if you are for example using Windows Server 2022 and you are interested what is new in that Windows Server 2022 compared to the previous versions, as you can see, you have also some information of what's changed. Even in Windows 2016, which is very old version, I would say, you also have this information. So this is how you can do it, and this is how you can know what's new in Windows Server 2025. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next videos.